something about you that many people don't know is that you actually volunteered in Angola. I'm curious, what was it about the struggle against apartheid that inspired so many Cubans to go fight against it?
I remember when Katrina hurricane beaten New Orleans and other regions, this tragic situation. And a government saying, run, evacuate yourself. And seeing this painful abyss between rich people and poor people in New Orleans. And immediately we make a call to the Cuban medical personnel, and we received thousands of volunteers, and we made an offer to the US government to dispatch medical personnel to New Orleans. The governor accepted, the mayor of the city accepted, but the federal government refused to do so. It was very altruistic because we never mix politics or political issues with the humanitarian affairs. And it was the beginning of this special medical force called Henry Reeve, honoring an American youth fighting in our independence wars. And we are Latin American, African people. It's in our blood, it's in our culture. We inherited from Spain and from Africa. And we saw it also in New Orleans or in the Hispanic population on these countries and other, this crossroad of cultures. And we feel as sons and daughters of Africa, and we feel committed there. We have no racial approach because of our history. The Cuba's nation has a peculiarity of the very idea of national identity, of the Cuban identity, and as an independent nation was born at the same time and in a blood connection with the ideal of abolition of slavery. And the founding fathers call them compatriots and call rich, illustrated, first Cubans owners of sugarcane plantations, sugar mills, and slave dotation. Very poor Cuban workers, Spanish descent, almost in slavery conditions, paying with the food, and call Africans and African defense, and call all of them fellow citizens, compatriots, and invited them to fight a war for the national independence and for the abolition of the slavery. It's in the roots of our national essence. We received an emotional solidarity by African countries, and we were involved because of these profound cultural connections in their independence struggle against colonialism and against the crime of apartheid. I'll never forget the complicity of some Western governments, even the US governments, calling that this complicity a constructive engagement with the supremacist, racist South African white regime. And we felt as a duty to be part, to make a humble contribution to this struggle. And in fact, more than 300,000 Cubans participated in the struggle against the apartheid only in Angola. Never been involved in internal affairs or in internal conflict in Angola, only defending their borders against the apartheid. And in our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, many officials had this experience as a young officer. In my delegation currently, well, Cosillo is one of them. 3 of us participated personally. Our ambassador to the United Nations. And for this reason, we feel that the struggle against racism and against racial discrimination is fundamental. And the attempt to use these issues as a political threat against South countries or against Cuba, for instance, is a painful. It's the same as I just pointed out about manipulation of a really important human causes. In the first independence wars, African descent and Africans, free slave, fought in a decisive contribution to our national independence, but they were the infantry. But in the Second War, many generals were African descent, and it was a very important a result of our independent process to have a different vision on races. But during the first half of our 20th century, the new colonial republic, kidnapped by American interests, imposed an amendment to our constitutions, was a setback. And during the 50s in Cuba, there was a terrible racism and racial discrimination. Separated institutions, clubs, even towns in which no a black person, no a mulatto person could walk freely. But the Cuban Revolution changed that by law and by social conquers, by social policies, creating equal opportunities, or even compensating structural historical inequalities with additional opportunities.
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you want to see more progressive anti-imperialist content like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with the latest Breakthrough News content. And if you want to support our work and get access to exclusive content, head over to patreon.com/breakthroughnews.